Hey warriors, the sun rises whether you're ready or not. The hours pass whether you use them or waste them. The years move forward whether you grow or stay the same. Time doesn't pause for your fear. It doesn't wait for your excuses. It doesn't care about your plans that never became action. And somewhere in the quiet of your own heart, you already know this. You know that the life you want isn't going to fall into your lap. You know that the dreams you carry won't build themselves. You know that every morning you wake up, you're either moving closer to who you're meant to be, or you're standing still while the world moves on without you. There's a voice inside you that whispers in the dark hours. It reminds you of the promises you made to yourself, the goals you set last year that are still sitting there, untouched, the potential you feel burning beneath your skin but haven't found the courage to unleash. That voice isn't there to haunt you, it's there to wake you up, because the gap between where you are and where you want to be isn't bridged by wishes, it's bridged by work, hard work, the kind that makes your hands tired and your mind focused and your spirit stronger. The kind that nobody sees but everybody feels when they meet the person you've become because of it. You don't need permission to start. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need everything figured out before you take the first step. You just need to wake up tomorrow morning with a different decision in your heart, a decision that says, "Today, I stop waiting. Today, I start working. Today, I become the kind of person who does what they said they would do." The world is full of people who talk about what they're going to do someday. Someday I'll start that business. Someday I'll write that book. Someday I'll get in shape. Someday I'll chase that dream. But someday isn't a day of the week. Someday is just another word for never. And you weren't put on this earth to live in the land of never. You were put here to wake up and work hard at it. Whatever it is for you, whatever makes your heart beat faster and your soul feel alive. Whatever scares you and excites you at the same time. That thing you think about when you're alone. That dream you've been carrying for years. That vision of who you could become if you just stopped hesitating and started moving. This isn't about becoming someone else. This is about becoming more of who you already are. The strongest version, the most focused version, the version that doesn't break promises to themselves, the version that shows up even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Don't skip any part of this video. Every word is here for a reason. Every point will challenge you. Every truth will push you forward. Are you ready? Are you ready to wake up and work hard at it? Let's begin. Now, I need you to do something powerful. Type this affirmation in the comments below. Today, I start. Tomorrow, I continue. Forever, I persist. Number 1. The days when nothing changes are building the life that will. You wake up. You do the work. Nothing happens. You wake up again. You do the work again. Still nothing. Days turn into weeks. Weeks turn into months. And you look at your life and wonder if any of this effort even matters, because everything looks exactly the same as when you started. This is where most people break. This is the moment when the mind starts whispering poison. You're not good enough. This isn't working. Other people have it easier. Maybe you should just accept this is as good as it gets. And if you listen to that voice, if you let those thoughts win, you'll quit right before the transformation begins. Here's what nobody tells you about hard work. It doesn't show results on your schedule. It works in the dark. It builds underground. Like a seed buried in soil, everything important is happening where you can't see it. The roots are spreading, the foundation is forming, the strength is developing. But on the surface, to the naked eye, nothing appears different. You're learning a new skill, practicing every day, but you still feel clumsy and unsure. You're building a healthier body, working out consistently, but the mirror shows you the same reflection. You're creating something meaningful, pouring hours into it, but the world hasn't noticed yet. And in those moments, you have to make a choice. Do you trust what you can't see, or do you quit because you can't prove it's working? Epictetus taught, "No great thing is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig. If you tell me that you desire a fig, I answer you that there must be time. Let it first blossom, then bear fruit, then ripen." Growth doesn't happen in explosions. It happens in quiet accumulation. Every single day you show up, you're adding one more layer, one more brick, one more degree of strength. You can't see it happening, but it's happening. And one day, without warning, you'll wake up and realize you're not the same person who started this journey. You'll attempt something that used to be impossible and find it easy. You'll face something that used to break you and stand firm. You'll look back and barely recognize who you used to be. But you only get there if you keep working on the days when nothing changes. Those are the days that count most, not the days when you feel inspired and motivated and on fire. Those days are easy. Anyone can work hard when they're excited. The question is, can you work hard when you're tired? Can you show up when you're discouraged? Can you keep going when you can't see progress? Your brain wants immediate feedback. It wants to know right now that this effort is worth it. But life doesn't work that way. Life rewards patience. It rewards persistence. It rewards the person who keeps planting seeds even when the harvest feels impossible. Think about water boiling. You put the pot on the stove. You turn up the heat. 1 minute passes. Nothing. 5 minutes pass. Still nothing. 10 minutes pass. The water sits there, mocking your effort. But inside that water, at the molecular level, everything is changing. The temperature is rising. The energy is building. And then, suddenly, it boils. Did the change happen suddenly? Nah. It was happening the entire time. You just couldn't see it until the moment it became undeniable. Your life works the same way. Every early morning, every late night, every moment you chose discipline over distraction, every time you kept your promise to yourself when no one was watching. It's all building toward something. The heat is rising. The transformation is happening. You just can't see it yet. So, stop judging your progress by what you can see today. Start trusting what you're building for tomorrow. The days when nothing changes are the days that change everything. They're testing your commitment. They're teaching you patience. They're turning you into someone strong enough to handle the success that's coming. Keep working. Keep showing up. Keep trusting the invisible process. Because the life you want is being built in the days when it doesn't feel like anything is happening at all. Number 2. Your comfort zone is a beautiful prison. There's a place you know well, a place where everything feels familiar and safe, where you can predict what happens next, where nothing challenges you too deeply or pushes you too far. It's comfortable there, warm, easy. And that's exactly why it's killing your dreams. Your comfort zone isn't just a place. It's a set of habits you repeat without thinking. It's the same routine every day, the same thoughts every morning, the same limits you've accepted as truth. It's the boundary line you drew around your life and promised yourself you'd never cross. And every day you stay inside that line, you're choosing safety over growth. You're choosing familiar over possible. Here's the hard truth. Everything you want is outside your comfort zone. Every version of yourself that you admire, that you dream about becoming, that you see in your mind when you're alone with your thoughts, that person lives on the other side of discomfort. And the only way to meet them is to walk through the fire that separates who you are from who you're meant to be. Think about the first time you tried anything difficult. Learning to ride a bicycle, speaking in front of people, starting something new when you had no idea what you were doing. It was terrifying, wasn't it? Your hands shook, your heart raced. Every cell in your body screamed at you to stop, to go back, to choose the easy path. But you didn't. You pushed through, and on the other side of that fear, you found capability you didn't know you had. That's how growth works. It's not comfortable. It's not gentle. It doesn't ask for your permission or wait until you feel ready. Growth happens when you're stretched beyond what you thought was possible, when you're uncomfortable, when you're uncertain, when you're doing things that scare you. Seneca wrote, "It is in times of security that the spirit should be preparing itself for difficult times. You don't have to wait for life to force you out of your comfort zone. You can choose to leave. You can wake up tomorrow and do one thing that scares you. Just one. Not something reckless or dangerous, but something that makes your heart beat a little faster. Something that challenges the story you've been telling yourself about what you can't do. Maybe it's starting that project you've been avoiding. Maybe it's having that difficult conversation you've been postponing. Maybe it's waking up an hour earlier. Maybe it's training your body harder than you did yesterday. Maybe it's working on your dream instead of just thinking about it. Whatever it is, it's waiting for you just outside the walls of your comfort. And here's what happens when you step outside. At first, it feels wrong. Your mind will create 1,000 reasons why you should go back, why this isn't the right time, why you're not ready, why you should wait just a little longer. That's not wisdom speaking, that's fear. And fear's only job is to keep you small and safe and exactly where you are right now. But if you push through that initial resistance, if you stay in the discomfort long enough, something miraculous happens. What felt impossible starts to feel possible. What felt terrifying starts to feel manageable. What felt like too much starts to feel like just enough. And slowly, your comfort zone expands. It grows to include things that used to live outside it. You become someone new, someone stronger, someone capable of more. The version of you that achieves your dreams isn't more talented than you are right now. They're not luckier. They're not special. They just got comfortable being uncomfortable. They learned to live outside the beautiful prison of safety. They chose growth over comfort so many times that growth became their new comfort. You can stay where you are. Nobody will judge you for it. The walls of your comfort zone are soft and familiar. But ask yourself this: 5 years from now, will you regret staying? Or will you regret not leaving sooner? Your future self is waiting on the other side of your fear. Will you go meet them? Let's make this real. Drop this declaration in the comments section. I grow when I'm uncomfortable. Number 3. The morning you win determines the day you live. The battle for your life is won or lost before breakfast, before the world wakes up, before the noise and demands and distractions of the day begin. There's a sacred window of time right after you open your eyes where you get to decide who's in control, your circumstances or you, your excuses or your discipline, your feelings or your commitments. Most people lose this battle before they even know it started. The alarm sounds. They hit snooze. They lie there negotiating with themselves, bargaining for just a few more minutes of comfort. And in that moment, they've already surrendered. They've already told themselves that comfort matters more than their dreams, that how they feel matters more than what they committed to do. But you're not most people, or at least you don't have to be, because every morning is a new chance to choose differently. Every sunrise is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you're serious about the life you say you want to build. And it starts with one simple decision. When that alarm goes off, you get up. No negotiation, no excuses, no lying there thinking about it. You just move. That first win of the day, that moment when you override your feelings and do what you said you'd do, it sets everything in motion. It creates momentum. It builds confidence. It tells your brain, we keep our promises now. We don't break our word to ourselves anymore. We're different than we used to be, and that energy carries you through the entire day. You make better choices because you already made one hard choice. You stay focused because you started with focus. You feel strong because you've already proven your strength. The morning victory becomes the foundation for every other victory that follows. Marcus Aurelius wrote to himself, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, I have to go to work as a human being. What do I have to complain of if I'm going to do what I was born for?" He understood that even powerful people face the same internal battle every morning. The difference is whether you win it or lose it. Think about what you do in those first few hours after waking. Are you reaching for your phone, filling your mind with other people's lives and problems? Are you lying there dreading the day ahead? Are you rushing through the morning in chaos and stress? Or are you taking control? Are you using that time to become stronger, sharper, more focused? Are you investing in yourself before you invest in anything else? The most successful people in any field share one common habit. They own their mornings. They wake up early, not because they're morning people, but because they understand that time is the one resource you can never get back. They use those quiet hours when the world is still sleeping to work on what matters most, to train their bodies, to expand their minds, to plan their days with intention instead of reacting to whatever happens. You don't need a perfect morning routine. You don't need to wake up at 4 in the morning or meditate for an hour or run 10 miles. You just need to do something that moves you forward, something that proves you're committed, something that makes you better than you were yesterday. Maybe it's reading for 20 minutes. Maybe it's working on your most important goal before anyone can interrupt you. Maybe it's moving your body in some way that builds strength. Maybe it's sitting in silence for 5 minutes, clearing your mind, setting your intentions for the day. It doesn't matter what it is. What matters is that you do it, consistently, without excuse. Because here's what happens when you win your mornings. You stop being a victim of your day. You stop reacting to life and start creating it. You stop hoping things will get better and start making them better. The hours don't control you anymore. You control them. And over time, those morning victories compound. Days become weeks. Weeks become months. Months become years. And you look back and realize that the person you've become, the life you've built, it all started in those early morning moments when you could have stayed in bed but chose to get up instead. Tomorrow morning, when that alarm sounds, you'll have a choice. The same choice you've always had. But this time, you'll remember what's at stake. This time, you'll remember that your dreams are built one morning at a time. This time, you'll get up. Number 4. Nobody's coming to save you, and that's your greatest power. There's a moment that comes to everyone who's ever achieved something meaningful. A moment of brutal clarity. A moment when you realize that all the waiting you've been doing, all the hoping and wishing and praying for things to change, it's been wasted time. Because nobody's coming. Nobody's going to rescue you from your circumstances. Nobody's going to hand you the life you want. Nobody's going to do the work for you. And at first, that realization feels heavy. It feels lonely. It feels unfair. You look around and see other people who seem to have it easier, who had help when they needed it, who got opportunities you never got. And you think, why do I have to do this alone? Why is everything so hard for me? But then something shifts. Once you stop waiting for rescue, once you truly accept that your life is your responsibility and yours alone, you discover something extraordinary. You're not as powerless as you thought. You're not as stuck as you believed. You're not as limited as your circumstances suggested. You've had the power all along. You just gave it away by waiting for someone else to use it for you. The truth is, your life will never change until you change. Your situation will never improve until you improve. Your dreams will never materialize until you materialize them through action, through effort, through relentless commitment to becoming someone capable of living them. And that's not a burden, that's freedom. Because if your success depends on you, then it can't be taken away by anyone else. If your progress is built by your own hands, then nobody can stop it. If your strength comes from within, then no external circumstance can break you. You become unshakable, not because life gets easier, but because you get stronger. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." He understood that true power isn't about controlling what happens to you. It's about controlling how you respond to what happens to you. You can't control whether people help you. You can't control whether opportunities fall into your lap. You can't control whether the path is easy or hard. But you can control your effort. You can control your attitude. You can control whether you quit or keep going. And those three things, when wielded with intention, can change absolutely everything. Look at your life right now. Really look at it. The parts you don't like, the parts you wish were different, the parts that frustrate you when you think about them. Now ask yourself, what am I doing about it? Not what am I hoping will happen? Not what I wish someone would do for me, but what am I actually doing with my own time and energy and focus to change it? If the answer is nothing, then you're waiting for a rescue that will never come. And every day you wait is another day stolen from the life you could be building. Every morning you wake up hoping things will magically improve is another morning you could have spent improving yourself. Every moment you spend wishing for different circumstances is a moment you could spend creating them. This doesn't mean you have to do everything alone. It doesn't mean you can't ask for help or learn from others or build a team around you. It means you stop waiting for permission. You stop waiting for perfect conditions. You stop waiting for someone to believe in you before you believe in yourself. You become the person who takes the first step, who makes the first move, who decides that if it's going to happen, it's going to happen because you made it happen. And when you live like this, when you truly own your life and your choices and your future, something beautiful happens. You stop blaming, you stop complaining, you stop playing the victim, because victims wait for rescue. But you're not a victim anymore. You're a creator, you're a builder, you're someone who takes broken pieces and makes something whole, someone who takes obstacles and makes them opportunities, someone who takes nothing and makes it something. The power was always yours, the strength was always there, the capability was never missing. You just had to stop waiting long enough to use it. So stop waiting, start building, start moving, start becoming, because nobody's coming to save you, and thank God for that, because now you get to save yourself. And that's when the real transformation begins. Take a moment and claim this truth. Write in the comments, "I am the architect of my own life." Number 5. Pain is the price of admission, not a sign you're on the wrong path. You're going to hurt. Let's be clear about that right now. You're going to wake up sore. You're going to face rejection. You're going to fail at things that matter to you. You're going to push yourself and wonder if you're pushing too hard. You're going to look at how far you still have to go and feel overwhelmed. You're going to doubt yourself. You're going to be tired. You're going to want to quit. And in those moments, you'll face a critical choice. You can interpret the pain as evidence that something's wrong, that you're not meant for this, that you should give up and find an easier path. Or you can interpret it correctly, as proof that you're growing, that you're stretching beyond your old limits, that you're becoming someone new. Most people choose the first interpretation. They feel discomfort and assume it means stop. They encounter difficulty and read it as a sign they're moving in the wrong direction. So they quit. They go back to what's comfortable. They tell themselves they tried, and it just wasn't meant to be. And they spend the rest of their lives wondering what could have been if they'd just pushed through. But the people who achieve extraordinary things, they understand pain differently. They don't enjoy it. They're not masochists who love suffering. They simply recognize that pain is information. It's feedback. It's your body and mind adapting to new demands. It's the growing pains of transformation. And instead of running from it, they lean into it. They learn from it. They let it forge them into something stronger. Think about anyone who's ever accomplished something difficult. The athlete who broke records, the artist who created masterpieces, the entrepreneur who built something from nothing, the student who earned their degree against all odds. Did they glide effortlessly to success? Did everything come easy? Nah. They suffered, they struggled, they failed repeatedly, but they kept going because they understood that pain wasn't a detour, it was the path. The Stoics had a practice called voluntary discomfort. They would intentionally put themselves through hardship to build resilience. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." They knew that avoiding pain makes you fragile. Facing pain makes you formidable. The question isn't whether you'll face pain on the journey to your goals. The question is whether you'll quit when you do. Here's what you need to understand. Easy paths lead to easy places. If you want an extraordinary life, you have to be willing to walk an extraordinary path. And extraordinary paths are paved with discomfort, uncertainty, and sacrifice. They require you to do things when you don't feel like doing them. They demand you keep going when every fiber of your being wants to stop. They ask you to become comfortable with being uncomfortable. But here's the beautiful part. Pain is temporary. The person you become by pushing through it is permanent. The strength you build, the character you develop, the confidence you gain from proving to yourself that you can handle hard things, that stays with you forever. 6 months of pain can give you 60 years of power. 1 year of struggle can set up a lifetime of strength. So when you're in the middle of it, when everything hurts and nothing seems to be working, and you're wondering if you made a mistake, remember this: you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The pain isn't punishment. It's preparation. It's sculpting you into someone capable of holding the dream you're chasing. It's teaching you lessons you can't learn in comfort. It's building muscles, mental and physical, that you'll need for what's coming next. Don't misunderstand. There's a difference between productive pain and destructive pain, between growth that challenges you and harm that damages you. You have to be wise enough to know the difference. But most people aren't quitting because they're being harmed. They're quitting because they're being challenged. They're stopping because it's hard, not because it's hurting them. If your dream was easy, everyone would have it. If your goal required no sacrifice, it wouldn't be worth achieving. If your journey demanded no courage, you wouldn't grow from walking it. The difficulty is the point. The struggle is the teacher. The pain is the price of admission to a life most people will never experience because they weren't willing to pay it. So, pay it. Embrace the discomfort. Welcome the challenge. Let the pain refine you instead of define you. Because on the other side of this temporary struggle is a permanent version of you that's stronger, wiser, and unstoppable. If this resonates with you, prove it. Type in the comments, "My pain is building my power." Number 6. Your daily actions are votes for the person you're becoming. Every single thing you do today is a vote for or against the person you say you want to become. Every choice, no matter how small it seems, is casting a ballot in the election of your future self. And the winner isn't determined by what you wish for or hope for or plan for. It's determined by how you vote, action by action, moment by moment, day by day. You say you want to be healthy, but you voted against it when you chose the easy meal over the nourishing one. You say you want to be disciplined, but you voted against it when you hit snooze instead of getting up. You say you want to be successful, but you voted against it when you chose distraction over focused work. And here's the thing about these votes: they count. Every single one of them counts. Most people think that one choice doesn't matter. One missed workout, one day of procrastination, one moment of weakness. They tell themselves it's just this once and tomorrow they'll do better. But your brain is keeping score. Your body is keeping records. Your character is being shaped by the accumulation of all these tiny decisions. And what you practice, you become. You don't become disciplined by thinking about discipline. You become disciplined by making disciplined choices repeatedly until discipline becomes who you are. You don't become strong by wanting to be strong. You become strong by doing strong things over and over until strength is your default. You don't become successful by dreaming about success. You become successful by taking successful actions consistently until success is inevitable. Aristotle said, "We are what we repeatedly do." Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. He knew that your identity isn't formed by your intentions, it's formed by your actions. Who you are today is the sum total of what you've done repeatedly, and who you'll be tomorrow is being decided by what you're doing right now. Think about the person you want to become, the healthiest version of yourself, the most focused version, the most successful version, the version that lives the life you dream about. Now ask yourself, what would that person do today? How would they spend their morning? What choices would they make when faced with comfort versus growth? How would they respond to difficulty? What actions would they take that you're not taking? The gap between who you are and who you want to be isn't as wide as you think. It's not crossed by dramatic transformations or overnight changes. It's crossed by small, consistent votes in the right direction, by choosing the harder right over the easier wrong, by doing today what will make tomorrow better, by showing up for yourself even when nobody's watching. Every time you do what you said you'd do, you're voting for integrity. Every time you choose growth over comfort, you're voting for strength. Every time you push through when you want to quit, you're voting for resilience. And slowly, vote by vote, those ballots add up. They tip the scales. They transform you from someone who wants to change into someone who has changed. But it works the other way too. Every time you break a promise to yourself, you're voting for weakness. Every time you choose the easy path, you're voting for mediocrity. Every time you give up when things get hard, you're voting for a smaller life. And those votes count just as much as the positive ones, maybe more because they're training your brain that your word doesn't mean anything, that your commitments are negotiable, that you can't be trusted to follow through. So which person are you voting for today? The one who makes excuses or the one who makes progress? The one who waits for perfect conditions or the one who works with what they have? The one who talks about their dreams or the one who builds them? Because that person you're voting for, that's who you're going to wake up as tomorrow, and next week, and next year. You don't need to win every vote. You're going to make mistakes. You're going to have bad days. You're going to vote wrong sometimes. But you need to win more votes than you lose. You need the majority of your daily actions to align with the future you're trying to create. That's how change happens. That's how transformation occurs. Not in one grand moment, but in 1,000 tiny moments where you chose who you were becoming. Your life is an election, and you're the only one voting. So choose wisely, vote often, vote with your actions, not just your words. Because the person you'll be a year from now is being elected by the choices you're making today. Make sure you're voting for someone you'll be proud to become. Let me see your commitment. Drop this affirmation below. Every action is a vote for my future self. Number 7. The distance between dreams and reality is called work. You have a picture in your mind, a vision of what your life could be. Maybe it's financial freedom. Maybe it's a body that's strong and healthy. Maybe it's a skill you've mastered. Maybe it's a relationship that's deep and meaningful. Maybe it's a business you've built. Maybe it's a version of yourself that's confident and capable and living without regret. That picture is beautiful. That dream is valid. That vision matters. But here's what nobody wants to tell you. That picture in your mind, it's on one side of a canyon, and you're standing on the other side. And the only bridge that crosses from where you are to where you want to be is built from one material and one material only: work. Hard, unglamorous, repetitive, sometimes boring, often frustrating work. There's no shortcut. There's no secret hack. There's no magic formula that lets you skip the bridge and teleport to the other side. Every single person who has ever turned their dreams into reality walked across that same bridge. They put in the hours, they made the sacrifices, they did the things that needed to be done, whether they felt like it or not. And most importantly, they kept walking even when the bridge seemed endless. You want to know why most dreams die? Not because they were impossible, not because people weren't capable, but because somewhere in the middle of building that bridge, people looked down. They saw how much work was still ahead. They felt tired, they got discouraged, and they convinced themselves that maybe the dream wasn't worth it. Maybe they weren't meant for it. Maybe they should just stay on this side where it's safe and familiar. But the people who make it across, they understand something crucial. They understand that the dream doesn't come to you. You have to go to it. You have to lay down one plank at a time. You have to take one step after another. You have to show up day after day, doing the work even when you can't see how far you've come, especially when you can't see how far you've come. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing." He ruled an empire, yet he understood that even the greatest achievements are built through small, consistent actions, not through wishing, not through waiting, through working. Think about what you want. Really think about it. Now think about what you did today to get closer to it. Did you practice the skill you need to develop? Did you take care of the body that has to carry you there? Did you invest time in learning what you need to know? Did you do the uncomfortable thing that moves you forward? Or did you spend today the same way you spent yesterday, hoping somehow that tomorrow will be different? The universe doesn't reward hope. It doesn't respond to wishes. It responds to action. It responds to effort. It responds to people who are willing to do today what others won't, so they can live tomorrow how others can't. And that's not unfair. That's not harsh. That's just reality. The distance between dreams and reality is measured in work, and only work can close that gap. But here's the beautiful part. Every single day you work, that gap gets smaller. Every hour you invest, that bridge gets longer. Every sacrifice you make, that dream gets closer. You might not see it happening. You might not feel the progress. But it's happening. The gap is closing. The bridge is building, the dream is approaching, and one day you'll take a step and realize you're not on your side of the canyon anymore. You're not separated from your dream. You're living it. You've become the person you only imagined being. You've built the life you only hoped was possible. And when you look back at the bridge you built, when you see how much work it took, you won't regret a single step. You'll only wish you'd started sooner. So, start today. Start now. Stop looking at the gap and start building the bridge. Stop measuring the distance and start closing it. Stop dreaming about who you could be and start working on becoming them. Because dreams without work are just fantasies, but dreams with work become realities, and you get to choose which one yours will be. The gap is there. It's real. It's not going to disappear on its own, but you can cross it. One day of work at a time, one choice at a time, one step at a time, until the day you realize there is no gap anymore. There's just you, standing on the other side, living the dream you were brave enough to work for. Number 8. Silence the noise and listen to what you already know. You already know what you need to do. Deep down, beneath all the confusion and doubt and overthinking, you know exactly what step you need to take next. You know what habits are holding you back. You know what dreams you've been ignoring. You know what conversations you've been avoiding. You know what work you've been postponing. You know. But instead of listening to that knowing, instead of trusting that inner voice, you do something else. You seek more opinions. You consume more content. You wait for more signs. You look for more validation. You search for the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect feeling. And in all that searching, you drown out the only voice that actually matters, the one inside you that's been telling you the truth all along. The world is loud. Everyone has advice. Everyone has an opinion about what you should do, who you should be, what path you should take. And most of it, even when it's well-meaning, is noise. It's distraction. It's other people's fears and limitations and experiences being projected onto your unique journey. And the more you listen to it, the further you get from your own truth. Here's what happens when you fill your mind with external noise. You forget how to hear yourself. You lose touch with your own instincts. You start doubting what you know to be true because someone else said something different. You become paralyzed by conflicting information. You spend so much time learning about the path that you never actually walk it. But the people who achieve their dreams, who build lives of meaning and purpose, they have one thing in common. They learned to trust themselves. They learned to filter out the noise and listen to the signal. They learned that clarity doesn't come from consuming more information. It comes from creating space for the wisdom that already lives inside them. Seneca wrote, "Everybody agrees that no one pursuit can be successfully followed by a person who is busied with many things." He wasn't just talking about tasks. He was talking about mental clutter, about trying to absorb every piece of advice, follow every trend, chase every opportunity. True focus requires silencing the noise and committing to what you know is right for you. Think about the last time you made a decision that felt truly aligned. Not because someone told you it was the right move, not because it looked good on paper, but because something inside you said, yes, this is the way. That feeling, that knowing, it's still there. It's always there. You just have to stop drowning it out. You don't need another course. You don't need another book. You don't need another guru telling you their secrets. You need silence. You need stillness. You need moments where you turn off the noise and ask yourself the hard questions. What do I actually want? What am I afraid of? What am I avoiding? What do I already know I need to do? And then you need the courage to listen to the answers, because here's the truth. You're not confused. You're scared. You're not looking for information. You're looking for permission. You're not waiting for the right answer. You're waiting for someone to tell you that you won't fail, that it'll be easy, that it's guaranteed to work. But nobody can give you that. And waiting for it is just another way of not starting. Your inner voice knows what you're capable of. It knows what lights you up. It knows what needs to change. It knows what you've been pretending not to know. And every day you ignore it, you're training yourself not to trust yourself. You're teaching yourself that your own wisdom isn't valuable, that other people know better than you do about your own life. Stop doing that. Start listening. Create space in your day where there's no input, just reflection. Where there's no consumption, just contemplation. Where you're not filling your mind with other people's thoughts, but exploring your own. Take a walk without your phone. Sit in silence for 10 minutes. Write down what you're thinking without editing it. Just listen to yourself. You'll be surprised what you hear. You'll realize you've known the answer all along. You've known what you need to do. You've known what path to take. You've known who you need to become. You just haven't been listening. You've been too busy seeking external validation for something that can only be validated internally. The noise will always be there. The opinions will never stop. The advice will keep coming. But your life isn't built by following everyone else's map. It's built by trusting your own compass. So turn down the volume on everything outside and turn up the volume on what's inside. Because that voice, the one that's been trying to guide you all along, that's the only one that knows where you're truly meant to go. Number 9. The version of you that quits today will regret it tomorrow. There's a version of you standing at a crossroads right now. One path leads forward into discomfort, uncertainty, and continued effort. The other path leads back to comfort, familiarity, and giving up on what you said you wanted. And I need you to understand something before you choose. The version of you that takes the easy path, that quits today, that decides it's too hard or too long or too much, that version of you will wake up tomorrow with regret. Not immediate regret. At first, quitting feels like relief. The pressure is off. The struggle is over. You can relax. You can tell yourself you tried, and that's enough. You can convince yourself that maybe it wasn't meant to be. And for a day, maybe a week, maybe even a month, you'll feel okay about that decision. But then something will happen. You'll see someone else accomplish what you gave up on. You'll remember why you started in the first place. You'll have a quiet moment where you're honest with yourself, and you'll realize you didn't quit because it was impossible. You quit because it was hard. And that realization will haunt you, not loudly, not dramatically, but quietly, persistently, like a whisper you can never fully silence. Future you is watching the decision you're about to make. They're hoping you choose them. They're hoping you love them enough to do what's hard today so they can live better tomorrow. They're hoping you're strong enough to push through this moment of weakness, because they have to live with the consequences of whatever you decide right now. Every person who's ever quit something important knows this pain. The pain of wondering what could have been. The pain of watching others succeed where you gave up. The pain of knowing you were closer than you thought, but you'll never know how close because you stopped walking. And that pain, the pain of regret, it lasts so much longer than the temporary pain of pushing through. Epictetus taught his students, "How long are you going to wait before you demand the best for yourself?" He was asking them to stop postponing their own excellence, stop making excuses, stop waiting for it to get easier, because it doesn't get easier. You get stronger, but only if you stay in the game long enough to build that strength. Think about every hard thing you've ever completed, every challenge you pushed through when you wanted to quit. How do you feel about those accomplishments now? Proud, right? Grateful that you didn't give up. Those are the moments that define you. Those are the experiences that taught you what you're made of. And you only have them because you chose to keep going when quitting felt easier. Now think about the things you quit, the goals you abandoned, the dreams you let die. How do those feel? Even if you've made peace with them, even if you've moved on, there's still something there, isn't there? A small ache, a quiet question of what if. That's the price of quitting, and it's a price you pay not once, but over and over, every time you think about it. You're tired. I know. You're frustrated. I understand. You're wondering if this effort will ever pay off. I get it. But here's what you need to hear. The tiredness is temporary. The frustration will pass. The uncertainty will resolve. But if you quit, that decision is permanent. You can't go back and undo it. You can't reclaim the time you lost. You can only start over if you find the courage to start again. And starting over is always harder than continuing, because you have to carry the weight of knowing you quit before. You have to overcome not just the challenge itself, but your own history of giving up. You have to prove to yourself that this time is different. Why do that to yourself? Why create that extra burden? Why not just keep going now and save yourself from that future struggle? The you of tomorrow is counting on the you of today. They need you to be strong right now. They need you to push through this moment. They need you to remember why you started and choose to keep going, because they don't want to live with regret. They don't want to wonder what could have been. They want to live the life you're building with every hard choice you make today. So don't quit. Not today. Not when you've come this far. Not when you're closer than you think. Not when future you is begging you to keep going. Stay in it. Push through it. Prove to yourself that you're not someone who gives up when it gets hard. Prove that you're someone who finishes what they start. Because that person, the one who keeps going, they're the one who gets to live without regret. So here we are, at the end of this message and the beginning of your next chapter. Everything we've talked about, every truth we've explored, every challenge we've faced together, it all comes down to one question. What are you going to do tomorrow morning when that alarm goes off? Are you going to wake up and work hard at it? Or are you going to hit snooze on your dreams one more time? Are you going to vote for the person you want to become? Or are you going to vote for comfort? Are you going to trust what you know inside? Or are you going to drown it out with more noise and more excuses? Because the truth is, nothing changes until you change. The world isn't going to hand you the life you want. Time isn't going to slow down and wait for you to feel ready. Your dreams aren't going to build themselves. You have to do it. Starting tomorrow. Starting today. Starting right now. You have everything you need. You always did. The strength, the capability, the power to transform your life. It's been inside you all along. You just have to choose to use it. You have to wake up and work hard at it. Every single day. Until the person you're becoming meets the person you've always been meant to be. This is your moment. This is your time. This is your life. Don't waste another day waiting for permission. Don't waste another morning choosing comfort over growth. Don't waste another year wondering what could have been. Wake up, work hard at it, and watch your life transform. Before you go, hit that like button. Drop a comment and tell me what you're committing to. Share this video with someone who needs it. Subscribe to this channel. We're building something powerful here, and I want you to be part of it. Now go. Your future is waiting, and it's time to get to work.